Hello everybody, it's Garrett here, and I have a secret for you that will help you overcome your public speaking fears. I promise there's more detail to follow. On the surface, practice. 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 The bigger question you should be asking is, how do I practice? And lucky for you, I got some options that have helped me overcome my fears of public speaking. Yes, the fear and anxieties you experience with public speaking never truly go away. You can become more comfortable with it. It all starts with this idea of practicing like we play. I played football for 8 years, and those coaches, they were really specific on putting yourself in situations, even in practice, that felt like it was the game. That way, when you got to the game, it felt more like you were in control of that situation. You had been there before. It wasn't just like, whoa, what's going on? It was like, oh, hold on. Yeah, I know how to do this. The first thing, know your speech. Know your speech. Like the back of your hand. Like that. And there's this whole thing about like, don't memorize, because if you do memorize, then you'll know when you forget a part. Great, that's good. That's actually beneficial to you, because while you're practicing, you can know what things worked and what didn't. My whole thing is, have a pseudo script that you follow, especially in the beginning, that you almost read word for word. It's what you would say if things went perfectly. If things went perfectly, this is what I would say. And you do that because there's no stimuli. It's just you. So if you can get that, your track and your train of thought will be on point. So then as stimuli starts to come in, you get a laugh from the audience, you get a look from this person, you can stay on track. You can incorporate that into the speech and know how to go so you can get back. That's the important thing. How do you get back to what your message is? You should be running that speech over and over and over again. And when you feel like you've run it enough, run it again. That's the biggest thing. Know your speech. Boom. Number 2 on this is location. The big thing about location is the size of the space. Is it outdoors? Is it indoors? Do you have a mic? Do you have a podium? No podium? These are all things you should think about while you're practicing and behave as though you have them. If you think you're gonna have a mic, still practice projection, but hold something in your hand. Hold something in your hand so you can practice what that feels like. If it's gonna be a clicker, have a phone in your hand. Have something that feels like it. If you're not gonna have a podium, think about your hands. If you are gonna have a podium, decide when you're gonna leave and come back. All of these things are things you can practice, and it's gonna make sure that you are comfortable with whatever the situation is on the day. 3, timing. You're given a 3-minute time limit. That time limit is important, but do not go up to it. Give yourself a buffer, like 10 seconds, and try to consistently get to that time, each time you do it. By the end of all your practice, like 80% of it should be around that mark, because then you know it's in your system what it feels like to be there. My biggest advice is when you practice, have a timer set up in the room somewhere. Have it on your computer, your phone, and have a couple places in your speech where you know you're gonna look at the timer. The reason for this is because then you start getting into the muscle memory of looking for that timer. Then you start to realize around what time you're at that point. This is helpful because when you go to give that speech and the time's going down, you already have a landmark within you that's ingrained in you about where you should be in the speech at what time. On the day, if you've never done that, if all you've tracked is what time you end, when you're giving the speech and you happen to look at the timer, because you will, suddenly you're not gonna know. And then you're gonna spend energy on not knowing versus your audience, which is the most important thing. Speaking of, number 4, audience. I didn't know where it'd be, so. This one is more about who they are, how can you talk to them, how can you engage with them, your physicality, can you be more in your body, or you have to be a little more reserved and show that you have more control of the room. All these things are things that are important to think about when you plan your speech. But in terms of how you practice it, there's 3 ways that I think you can go about it. 1, visualization. This is my favorite. I love visualizing. I try to imagine where people's eyes will be, I try to imagine how many people, and then I treat it like that. I don't just pull back into the room I'm in and say, well, this is the room I'm in, it doesn't matter. No, you have to treat it like it's that space. There are some people that like to use stuffed animals, objects. That doesn't help me as much. However, I do think it is helpful in that it gives you an explicit object to look to when you deliver something. For like a best man speech or something like that, where you know you want a line to be given to someone specifically, and if it helps you for the rest, that's great. Now the third way is a way that I think you have to be very specific on when you do it, and it's friends and family. Yeah. Yay! Friends and family is hard because they want you to succeed. With that, they will give you feedback. Feedback which you may or may not want at this moment. Please, 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 if you're gonna use friends and family, just be sure about what you want before you go in. Make sure you tell them what you want before you start. Tell them, hey, I'm not really looking for feedback. I more just want to look at your eyes. Or, hey, yeah, I need feedback on this. I've been practicing in my room with no one, trying to visualize, but I need to feel what you are feeling as I give this speech. Can you tell me? My biggest fear with it is that you'll get feedback that you didn't really want. You just wanted to have the experience of looking someone in the eye and talking to them. And whatever you want, that's what you need in that space. Final thing is quick, because it's another whole video about it, but apparel. Just wear what you might present in. Wear something that is similar to what you'll present in, so you can feel what it's like to move in it, to breathe in it, to lift your arms, to all those things, because you don't want to be like, this is great, isn't it? And then when you get there, it's like, oh no, I can't do the thing I wanted to do. Now my speech, the train starts to go and you go downhill and spiral. We don't want that. It may feel silly, but wearing what you think you're gonna wear, it just eliminates the question mark of what wearing that does to you. Feel it, be in it, nice. Those are the things that I like to focus on. There's a lot of other stuff like breathing, pitch, variation, prep work before, all this stuff that's a lot more specific. But these are the general things that I think will help in terms of practicing. Practice your speech each way. And I know that hearing it like that sounds like so much work, but if you are having an issue with the comfort of public speaking, practicing one speech all these different ways will help you immensely. If you like the video, please like and subscribe and comment down below if something shocked you, surprised you, or you don't agree with, because I'm always trying to learn. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.